And it goes out of bounds. Well, they feel that they have depth on the defensive line to take care of the absence of Shelton. They're certainly deep at running back. They've been rotating 4. And Parsons will likely sit out very little time. So here's Sean Clifford from the 35-yard line. The play fake and the strike incomplete. Steps up, takes off. Weaves across midfield and gets chopped down after a 17-yard gain by Antoine Winfield. He can get down the field. He had a 58-yard rush against Buffalo earlier this year. Throwing deep, single coverage, jump ball, and it is intercepted by Antoine Winfield. His 6th of the season. So the crowd ignited early. Tough field position for Tanner Morgan and the Golden Gophers offense from their own 5. Rodney Smith, part of a deep running back group, runs over Lamont Wade, who made the tackle after a 9-yard gain. All of them 6'5" or taller. They average 340, helped by the mammoth right tackle Daniel Fa'alele, who's 6'9", 400 pounds. Smith has the first down and a couple more. To get honesty, not just admissions that they are shorter than listed. Throw on target, another first down. Rashad Bateman, a sophomore from Tifton, Georgia, they think is going to be one of the all-time greats here.
Well, first of all, watch Rodney Smith, the running back, with the block to help out the quarterback. Right there, helps out on Windsor, and that opens up the slant. They throw a lot of slants off the play action to these big-bodied receivers. And again, the combination of Bateman and Tyler Johnson, as good as there is in the Big Ten.
Well, there is a flag down on the play. The officials, read by Mark Kluzinski, sorting it out.
There is no foul for an ineligible downfield. The ball was tipped. The result of the play is a first down.
So the play stands. 15-yard gain. And Morgan in the offense move from their own 5-yard line out to the 33 and now to the 34 on the carry by Rodney Smith. It's a team that has dramatically improved in running the football as the season's gone along. All of a sudden the outside zone play kicked in. They had been working on it all season. They're using it to great impact lately. The blitz is picked up. There's an open man. It's Rashad Bateman, and he is gone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Well, Lamont Wade came on a blitz, and Shannon Brooks, the running back, did a great job picking it up. Kirk Shiraka, the offensive coordinator, told us yesterday, I hate to leave backs in the block, but against Penn State, you have to do it. And that's why they did do it. It played a big part. Ryerson kicks off for the second time. This one returnable from the 5 for KJ Hamlin. Room straight up the middle. And a 7-0 lead for Minnesota. The toss to Journey Brown, and he's tackled by Carter Coughlin. Minnesota likes to play with the lead. They like to milk the clock. James Franklin said it's important to get an early lead against Minnesota. Speed them up a bit. Clifford's throw off target for Jahan Dotson. 4 defensive ends in the game now. They move a couple of defensive ends inside. They have speed along that defensive line. Clifford out of the gun. 5 receivers. Sean has time. He's on target. Has a first down to Pat Freiermuth, one of the best tight ends in the country. Their second leading receiver for the year with 26. Hard to hear with deafening noise in this sellout crowd. Clifford on target again. Freiermuth broke free, and he's into Gopher territory at the 45-yard line. Got it in between 2 defenders. Here's Journey Brown. He breaks tackles. He has lots of running room. He has a touchdown. Here's Jake Penniger for the extra point to tie it. An entertaining first 4 minutes and 9 seconds. The extra point good. They say they're really not focused on that. There's a lot of football still to be played. Demetrius Douglas had trouble with the Jordan Stout kickoff, and he winds up returning it only to the 13 for Coach P.J. Fleck. First time in the history of the AP poll. That era dates back to 1936. 2 games of 8, no teams are better on the same day. Bama and LSU later, wide open. It's the touchdown scorer, Rashad Bateman, dropped at the 41-yard line. We should note Micah Parsons is on the field. Disciplined, as Holly told you, for behavioral modification. Their leading tackler, emerging as one of the best linebackers in the country. Semi-finalist for the Butkus Award as the best linebacker in the country as a sophomore. Straight ahead goes Shannon Brooks, and that's a gain of 2. Play fake to Shannon Brooks, another bullet right on target from Tanner Morgan to Tyler Johnson. 32 straight games with a reception. That's 171 career catches now. Tied with Tutu Atwell for 3rd in Minnesota history. On 1st and 10, straight ahead Shannon Brooks and Robert Windsor. Smith, Ibrahim, and Brooks, 7,503 combined rush yards. That's the most of any running back trio in the country. Deep and talented at a lot of places. Mohamed Ibrahim tackled at the 33-yard line by Windsor, Jan Johnson, and Garrett Taylor. You can understand the doubts. This is the first ranked opponent they've played this season. The 8 teams they've defeated have a combined winning percentage of 42%. That is second lowest among any Power 5 team. Only Missouri, by that standard, has played a weaker schedule. Ibrahim, his specialty is short yardage. He did not get the first down.
This is the real quarterback, Tanner Morgan, here. So Seth Green, big guy in there at the Wildcat.
6'4", 240, was a tight end. He keeps it, lowers his head, and has the first down to the 28-yard line. He scored 2 touchdowns for Coach Fleck in their last game 2 weeks ago against Maryland. Each of these teams coming off a bye week. They're well rested, had a chance to get some people healthy. Rodney Smith back in, and he gets stacked up.
I think they have the clearest path to the playoff. I'll be shocked if they're not one of the 4 teams in there when it's all said and done.
Rodney Smith, outside he goes.
Well, we
talked about 4 yards short of the first down.
We talked about the stretch play, and that's been their second pitch. They've always been good at the inside zone. That has become their new second favorite play, and they got an excellent block that time by Blaze Andrews, the left guard, against Micah Parsons.
The Gophers went to that outside zone or stretch play because they want to see the defensive lineman running laterally, not penetrating. Short throw, little bubble. Chris Ottman-Bell inside the 10, the 5, touchdown Minnesota.
That's a #1 kind of play right there by Ottman-Bell.
Huge catch in their win against Fresno State early in the year on a 4th down. Thursday night, KJ Hamler brings back the Grant Wyersey kickoff, and he's down at the 21-yard line. So still 1st and 10, no timeout. Journey Brown, another long journey for Brown across midfield into Gopher territory and banged out of bounds at the 40-yard line. They scored their touchdown on a 45-yard gallop. Clifford down the middle, an open receiver, and he short-hopped Pat Freiermuth.
Now you wonder if that right hand or right thumb is okay on this play.
Just 1 for 5 to start the game, while Tanner Morgan's 5 for 5. That one behind Hamler, but he caught it, and he's down inside the 20. They'll spot it at the 17. Clifford steps toward the line. It's off the hands of Hamler with Jordan Howden in coverage.
Freiermuth really becomes a coveted receiver. Big, good hands. Here he is right here, kind of in a bunch formation. You've got 2 tight ends and Hamler to the same side of the formation.
He caught 3 touchdown passes in their last game 2 weeks ago against Michigan State. A fake to Brown. Clifford straddling the line of scrimmage, hoping for a block from Hamler. He gets chased out by Braylon Oliver, redshirt freshman from Douglasville, Georgia.
Before the ball was snapped. Delay a game. Offense.
Wow.
5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
The sellout crowd making it difficult. Clifford throws incomplete. Trying to get it to Freiermuth again. Jake Pittiger. 5 out of 6 for the sophomore from Ankeny, Iowa. Snap and hold are good, and the kick is right down the middle. Their fans fervently believe that this is one of the best teams in college football, and they look like it so far today. Jordan Stout's kickoff will be a touchback.
Yes.
A little history lesson courtesy of Aflac, our creative friends in the truck, led by our producer Phil Dean, our director Scott Johnson. Here's Rodney Smith. He gets 9. Only Nebraska scored on them the entire year. They beat the Huskers 16-12. Smith looks like he has enough for the first down just across the 35. Third possession for Minnesota. They've scored touchdowns on the previous 2. Tyler Johnson weaves across the 40.
But so far not able to get to the quarterback.
Muhammad Ibrahim closer to the line to make, but didn't get there. Minimal gain. Learned to manage the clock from Jim Tressel when he was a graduate assistant at Ohio State. Lots of offense in the first quarter. Minnesota leads 14-10. The Gophers had 199 yards of offense in the first 15 minutes. And as the second quarter begins, Tanner Morgan and Minnesota looking at third down, a long 3, a short 4, however you want to characterize it.
And Penn State showing man coverage, press man.
Morgan pulls it down, takes off running, slides down at the 49-yard line. Good block by John Michael Schmitz, who's come in at center for Connor Olson. He's not a starter, but PJ Fleck calls him their 6th starter. They rotate him into the game, move positions.
Yeah, Olson's at left guard. He gives them versatility playing center and guard. Very methodical. This is, James Franklin said we don't want to let them get the game developed the way they want. Well, this is the way Minnesota wants the game to be right now.
Here's Shannon Brooks trying to turn the corner and did not. Stopped at the line of scrimmage by Garrett Taylor, 5th-year senior safety out of Richmond, Virginia. They're 2 out of 3 on third down. They converted on a 4th down with the Wildcat.
Gross Matos right here is over the center. He's usually on the outside. Tough pot to be there in the middle.
Morgan given time, throws near sideline, incomplete. Intended for Chris Ottman-Bell. Tariq Castro Fields.
Penn State called timeout. They had 12 men on the field. Save a penalty.
Herbers punts it almost straight up in the air. Takes a great bounce. Landed near the 20.
Wow.
And is going to stop at the 6-yard line.
You have to speed things up as the quarterback.
Journey Brown's had a big first half. Runs a 45 for a touchdown. Another run of 35.
You see so many offenses that try to change things at the line of scrimmage, call the game there. Much easier to do at home than it is on the road.
They'll pick up the tempo here, get to the line quickly, snap it quickly, and Brown, a redshirt sophomore from Meadville, Pennsylvania. On 3rd and 3, they fake the run. It's on target to Freiermuth for a first down. Chop down. Clifford fake the handoff, fake that he might run. Finally through to Hamler. Clifford, design quarterback run. Again, they go to the 4 defensive end package. More speed along the defensive line, anticipating pass on 3rd and 4. Clifford shows his own speed, ran away from the speedy D-line, got the first down out to the 43-yard line.
Clifford's going to read it, get right inside, find green grass, and he's done this all season. Again, he's played with a maturity beyond his years, and those are just good, fast decisions by the young quarterback.
That one a 10-yard gain. 10 minutes to go in the half. Long throw. Hamler in a crowd runs under it. Winfield got there a fraction too late for Minnesota. And Penn State in business at the Gopher 40 after a 17-yard play.
Passer. Defense number 12. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Yeah, well, this is a clear call. The ball is going to be released. It's gone. And a clear late hit. And then at the end of the play, Winfield just kind of misjudged the ball. Hamler is not a big guy, but he was able to keep him away with his body. And Winfield was not able to make a good play on the ball thanks to the positioning of Hamler.
First penalty against the Gophers, 33rd of the year. Only Wake Forest has been assessed fewer penalties across the country this season. Shifting in the middle of that front and standing up, Duke Treadway's number 18.
This looks very confusing right now for Penn State. Play clock still with 7 seconds.
Clifford a couple of peeks to the sideline, snaps it with 2. Sends it out wide for Journey Brown, incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 9. Ricky Slade in and running back. They blitzer ran him over, but the ball got off, and it's intercepted again by Antoine Winfield. And he brings it back to the 39-yard line. (14-10) Minnesota. They have the ball back after the second interception of the game from Antoine Winfield. From their own 39, Tanner Morgan on target again. Rashad Bateman inside the Nittany Lion 40 to the 39-yard line. Tanner Morgan so impressive at quarterback, 7 out of 8 for 175 and 2 touchdowns. Completion percentage of 95.5 against the Boilermakers, the best in Big Ten history. Among those who threw a minimum of 15 passes in a game. Trying to thread it in, and he does! Tyler Johnson! Touchdown, Minnesota!
One-on-one coverage against the freshman, Keaton Ellis. A perfect throw and a big-time catch by a big-time receiver, Tyler Johnson.
Here's Brock Walker. Redshirt freshman kicker who had attempted only 1 point after all season prior to today. And Ryerson, very short kickoff. KJ Hamler trying to get outside, and he's chased out of bounds. There's a flag down back at the 23-yard line. He went out at the 33.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Return team number 7. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down, Penn State.
Tied with Douglas Coleman of Texas Tech for the national lead, 7 interceptions. And a lot of season left for Winfield to have that record all by himself. Lots of time for Sean Clifford. Throws deep for Handler. Unfamiliar territory for Penn State. They have trailed infrequently on their way to 8-0. Clifford, a nice pocket, and a throw that's dropped off the hands of Daniel George.
You've got to have other guys step up. Daniel George just not able to make the play.
Blake Gillikin, the punter, caught by Demetrius Douglas, and he's ripped down. Student sections had plenty of help being vocal from the Gopher partisans here at TCF Bank Stadium. Minnesota leading by 11. They go to the flea flicker. Tanner Morgan has a man wide open. Tyler Johnson, the ball's out, and it goes out of bounds. And it'll be Minnesota ball. Big break for the Gophers. Shannon Brooks. Down near the 10-yard line.
And they get another first down deep in Penn State territory.
They couldn't get that play to work early in the season. As a result, they couldn't run the football. Kirk Shiraka, the offensive staff, stuck with it. He credits the offensive line coach Brian Callahan. Boy, are they making hay with the outside zone and the stretch plays, they call it.
Credit to them for sticking with it, even though last year when they put it in, it was pretty much bad the whole year.
Penn State said, we're not going to run laterally against that play along the line. We're going to try to penetrate and blow it up. It hasn't worked all that often. Morgan was under some duress. Got it to Brevin Span Ford, one of their team leaders, fifth-year senior Jan Johnson, a team captain. Degree in psychology, a master's in management and organizational leadership, and now getting a third degree in health policy. A fade and over the head of Tyler Johnson.
They had exactly what they wanted, Sean. They had Tyler Johnson going on Lamont Wade.
I think his heart is racing a little bit. National TV, sellout crowd, one of the big games in program history. No problem. J.J. Hamler tries the near side.
But he has been outstanding so far in the first half.
He works with a kinesiologist who's based in Toronto, and that's the reason why he does those hip snaps on the sideline over there. He says his teammates make fun of him. Journey Brown, the ball carrier. Keontae Shad made the tackle. Sean Clifford just 6 out of 16. Fakes it to Journey Brown. On target there, K.J. Hamler. One of the many things that they do so well here at Minnesota. Journey Brown, the ball carrier.
Just another one of those grad transfers on this Minnesota defense. Came over from Michigan, has 3 years of eligibility, graduated in 2 years, and he's tall. He's 6'3", matches up on big receivers.
Joe Rossi, the defensive coordinator, said St. Jude's to play in the NFL, and he had a hard time getting on the field in Michigan. Carter Coughlin with the sack. Dan Marino, among others, out of Pittsburgh Central Catholic. Great football history there. Sean Clifford got spun around. 4th and 4, under a minute to go in the half.
Minnesota calls timeout.
24-10 Minnesota. Huge 4th down and 4 for Penn State at the Gopher 41.
And here's your two guys right here, Hamler and Freiermuth on the same side. And it looks like Minnesota's going to call another timeout. I think he wanted to call that timeout. This is a huge play. If they get a stop here, they're going to get the ball to start the third quarter. Huge momentum play right here.
Clifford throws and a catch in traffic by Pat Freiermuth. 40 seconds, clock running. 2 timeouts for the Nittany Lions. Clifford one-on-one with Freiermuth. Spent much of his youth here in the Twin Cities, going to Vikings games while his dad starred for Minnesota's NFL entry. Sean Clifford trying to weave his way through some traffic, including the umpire. 3rd down 5, 3-man rush. Clifford throws, Freiermuth upended at the 8-yard line. Winfield there again. 20-yard play. Looks like they're ready to snap it and spike it.
What a play by Clifford, John.
Lined up as if Journey Brown would be a Wildcat. They shift Clifford back to the quarterback spot. He tried to rip it into Nick Bowers. On 3rd and goal, Clifford looked like a design run. He's chopped down at the 3. This is essentially an extra point for Pinnaker. 21-yard field goal from almost dead center. There's a flag down.
And they ran into the kicker.
Benjamin St. Just. They're looking to the sideline. They could take half the distance.
Running into the kicker, on the defense. That penalty is declined. The field goal is good. That's the end of the first half.
Start with Tyler Johnson, the wide receiver, taking the ball. Minnesota with 322 yards of total offense.
Bear look now, a little change here. They cover the inside guard and the center.
And Rodney Smith runs right through it. Micah Parsons the tackle a moment ago. Morgan forced to pull it down, and now he gets swatted down by Jan Johnson for a loss on the play.
I mean, they're efficient on both sides of the ball. They're in the right place on defense for the most part, and they've been very efficient with both the run and the pass. That was the first negative yardage play of the ball game for Minnesota right there.
Against one of the terrific defensive fronts in the country. Morgan on the run in the open field, spun away from Lamont Wade, but Shaka Tony. Shiraka said we spent a lot of time scheming to give our #1 option in each passing play the ability to get open quickly. Help Morgan get rid of it quickly. They go to the run on 3rd and 7. Here's Muhammad Ibrahim, not content to go down. He delivers a blow. Penn State was best in the country entering today. They were giving up 1.99 yards per rush to their opponents. Minnesota's average 5 per carry today. That one good for 21. The sophomore from Baltimore, Ibrahim. Rodney Smith. Now flag thrown by the referee. Too many men on the field.
Illegal substitution. 12 men on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Sam Schluter tried to sneak off.
Here's that unbalance that James Franklin was talking about. Actually, not to just have Schluter back in the ball game. 5 offensive linemen.
2nd and 16. Rodney Smith stacked up for no gain. With 24 points given up, you saw Brent Pry's defense has been outstanding all year, but the 24 points, the most they've given up in a game this season. And they had yielded that at the half. Michigan scored 21 against the Nittany Lions. Out to Tyler Johnson. And he's inside the 40, but still 10 yards short of the first down, taken down by Cam Brown.
Penn State has too much firepower on offense. They have to keep doing what they've been doing. This possession, Penn State just got him behind the chains.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
There's Jacob Herbers, the punter. Done an excellent job. His specialty this year has been pinning opponents inside the 20-yard line. 10 of his 27 punts prior to today had been inside the opposing 20, including 5 in one game against Purdue. And here it is again. Fair catch made by KJ Hamler. They jump up to 3.8%, we're told by the FPI people back at ESPN. Sean Clifford, the runner, came here as a walk-on. Joe Rossi said he went from wondering if he'd ever play a snap to now he's an NFL prospect as a 5th-year senior from nearby Maple Grove, Minnesota.
Minnesota's showing pressure here, but I think they'll probably back out and only rush 3. That's what they do. Make them complete it underneath.
And they get close to Clifford. And he is yanked down at the 1-yard line. Asese Otomewa made the tackle for Minnesota.
It was a 3-man rush. They dropped 8. Clifford couldn't get rid of the ball early. That's why he tried to leave the pocket. He was first forced out of the pocket by Boye Mafe, and then Otomewa with the sack.
Blake Gillikin, the veteran, out of the back of the end zone. High, good punt. What a year he's had. Demetrius Douglas from his own 47 bounces off the initial hit
Great punt.
They've been crushing people since. Shannon Brooks tried the middle unsuccessfully, loses the ball as he hit the ground. The quarterback Morgan trying to get it back, but Penn State has it at the 50-yard line. The first takeaway of the game for Brent Pry's defense. From the 50-yard line, neither team has scored here in the third quarter. Journey Brown almost escaped but couldn't get away. Rossi is the defensive coordinator here at Minnesota. His rush got close to Clifford but didn't get him down, and that ball is caught. 16-yard gain. Journey Brown off left guard. Stopped at the 32. PJ Fleck's a character, but he has interesting people on his staff too. We visited with the coordinators yesterday. Talked to Joe Ross. He said, "You know what? I'm going to take a year off, help raise my baby." KJ Hamler on the jet sweep action, dumped by Carter Coughlin. So then when he went to get back in, PJ Fleck offered him a role here, but it was an off-the-field analyst. Now he's the defensive coordinator, doing a tremendous job. Clifford throws. KJ Hamler again.
But he keeps his eyes downfield, and he's able to quickly deliver the ball forward for the first down.
Trying to capitalize on the first Gopher turnover of the day. Clifford down the middle, off the hands of Justin Shorter. Ironically, Shorter is their tallest wide receiver, with Sam Renner, who put the hit on Clifford. They try Hamler coming in this direction.
This could be quarterback run.
It's Journey Brown, spins and is very close to that line to make along the 10-yard line. Antoine Winfield the tackle.
It's him right here, 87. Got a bunch set with two tight ends and Hamler. Single on Dotson at the bottom.
And it's a touchdown. Great fake by Clifford, and Nick Bowers has his first catch of the game.
Not enough guys here at the bottom. Not enough defenders.
They throw it out to Ricky Slade, and even short-handed on this side, they made the stop. Kickoff by Jordan Stout, down by Demetrius Douglas.
No negative plays by the Nittany Lions. First two possessions, 3 negative plays and a turnover. So a much more spirited effort here to start the second half.
Morgan caught. Chris Ottman-Bell, quality gain on first down. He got 8. More TD passes than incompletions for Morgan, the sophomore from Union, Kentucky. He was on his way to Western Michigan to play for PJ Fleck there. And when PJ wound up coming here, he invited Morgan to come with him. Rodney Smith, no gain. Micah Parsons, Jan Johnson there, and it's going to be a holding penalty against Minnesota.
Holding. Offense number 51, 10-yard penalty.
And once again, now they were second and really short, and now they're second behind the chains, and so Penn State's defense a chance to get off the field again quickly.
And after 1 penalty in the first half, 3 already here in the third quarter. And the second least penalized team in the country. Smith remains the running back on 2nd and 12. Morgan faked it to him, has a man open, caught, first down, 46-yard line. 87 career catches in just 22 games here at Minnesota.
There's the slant. Come right back to it, picking on Castro Fields a little bit here in a couple plays. Morgan has been impressive. I mean, he has really looked under control and comfortable.
Gives it off to Rodney Smith. You can tell when we talked to him yesterday, Smith gets about 5. He Faked it to Smith. He got hit. The ball goes straight up in the air and it falls incomplete. Shaka Tony delivered the blow to Tanner Morgan and forced the pop-up throw.
Yeah, this was a whiff by the tight end Jake Paulson. This is supposed to be picked up. Jake Paulson is coming across as the tight end and just whiffs on the play, and that's why the hit was put on Morgan. And Minnesota very lucky that ball was not intercepted.
Quan Brisker injured.
Ineligible downfield. Offense number 78. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
You got Fa'alele with the being downfield, but you saw the missed block that time by Jake Paulson. And again, this ball was up for grabs, and credit Ottman Bell for at least going up and trying to fight it away to prevent the interception.
And when Fa'alele is downfield, you're going to see him. He is the heaviest player.
Or feel him or hear him or whatever. Yeah. Or feel the earth move.
Good to see Brisker back up now, walking off. There's Fa'alele, 400-pounder. Very likable young man, and they think he's just developing as a football player.
Very raw still, but talented and athletic to go with that size.
Second down and 11, not in field goal range. Here comes Chris Ottman Bell again, and Penn State ready for that this time. Cam Brown right there to drop it for no gain. 30 seconds to go, third quarter. Clearly they have slowed the pace here with the lead. You wonder if they've cost themselves some rhythm. Morgan says no to that question. On target to Rashad Bateman. What a day for Bateman. Targeted 7 times. He's caught all 7 for 203 yards.
Seth Green, the Wildcat quarterback, in right now. They've done a lot of different things with him in there.
Including direct snapping it to the other back in the backfield. They give it to Green, and he's submarined. Was he whistled down? Apparently not. They let the play go, and they're going to mark him near the 2-yard line.
He has not thrown the ball this season.
He's a huge reason why they are the best team in the country in goal-to-go situations. 18 for 18 scoring touchdowns. Other teams are perfect, but they don't have as many touchdowns and opportunities as the Gophers had in goal-to-go. Green lowers his head again. Touchdown, Minnesota. It is good. Here's KJ Hamler returning the kickoff. And inching closer to one of the big wins in the modern history of Minnesota football.
Well, he had Freiermuth. Good dump off to Journey Brown, but he had his tight end running down the middle of the field. Not sure why Sean Clifford didn't pull the trigger on that one.
17 yards on the completion. Brown squirts through. Devin Ford, a home run hitter at running back, true freshman, comes in. The blitz came late. Clifford got it off, and Hamler goes to the turf and makes another catch. The 7th catch of the day, 19-yard gain. He has 119 yards receiving. Now Devin Ford.
We thought we'd see more. I think that Journey Brown's a little older, maybe a little bit more proficient in the pass blocking part.
Clifford for Freiermuth. Inside the 10, moving quickly. 14-yard gain on the last play. Here's Devin Ford, twisted back by Sam Renner. Just under 12 minutes. Ford danced away from Coughlin, crossed the 5, and that's it. And I would think, Todd, this might be 4 down territory, or 2 plays to get the first down, because 3 points, you're still down by 9, 2 scores. Clifford stuffed at the line of scrimmage. It's a deep and talented team. 4th down and goal. Clifford lobs it up for Hamler, and it's batted away. Chris Williamson had the coverage, and Minnesota takes over on downs. Part of Veterans Week on ABC, brought to you by USAA.
PJ's everywhere. We got PJ Dean working the producer chair down in the truck.
PJ Fleck is Philip John Fleck. Rodney Smith carries out to the 7-yard line.
Championship year, right? Pretty nice year to be a part.
2006, Rodney Smith dumped by Jan Johnson for a loss.
No doubt.
He uses the word elite all the time, but everybody in the program should be striving to be elite at everything. He's an elite coach. Morgan throws a flutter ball. Bateman trying to get back to it. There's a flag down. Ball landed out of bounds.
Now are they going to? They might have a conversation. Was this deflected? One, or number two, was it catchable? The ball fluttered. Did it get deflected? Is that why it fluttered?
Pass interference. Defense, number 29. 15-yard penalty.
You can't make this penalty. If you're John Reed, he's their best corner.
Now we're told from the truck it was clearly not deflected, so that is.
And he altered his course coming back to the ball. I mean,
and it was catchable. I mean, it landed close enough to the sideline there to be caught with his feet in bounds.
I mean, that is a critical error by a very smart and very good football player in John Reed.
There was a question mark during the week with what was reportedly a wrist injury. Obviously playing today. No gain, maybe a yard for Rodney Smith.
Ohio State's the real deal. I mean, they are just so complete on both sides of the ball. Minnesota does not play them. Could possibly see them in the championship game. Penn State plays them November 23rd.
PJ Fleck, the clock management, trestle ball as he called it yesterday. Tyler Johnson the catch.
Bobby, one of the greatest players ever played here, has endowed a scholarship here at Minnesota, and Tyler Johnson has his scholarship. And Bobby is really enjoying what he's seeing today out of this Gopher football team.
Entering today's game, Penn State had led for 84% of all the possible minutes in their games played this season. Rodney Smith dropped for a loss. Of course, these two, they're not on the field at the same time, but they know each other well, both in the Cincinnati area. Tanner Morgan said yesterday he remembers a youth football game they played in the 6th grade. Here's Muhammad Ibrahim stacked up. It was in the 6th grade, and you could tell it still bothered Tanner Morgan. Not surprised. Look for a moment. He's going to snap it with about 13. PJ Fleck's not going to allow that. That clock's going to run every time while they have this 2-score lead.
James Franklin's going to use a timeout, his first of 3, to stop that clock.
In all 4 kicks, the 3 block punts tied for the national lead. Houston and Nebraska. Good punt by Jacob Herbers. KJ Hamler got away from it and down it at the 36. Alex Strazzanti is the injured player for Minnesota.
Yeah, he was the guy that downed the punt. He actually jumped to catch it because it was bouncing backwards, and when he landed awkwardly on one of his legs. And unfortunate injury there on the Penn State sideline.
Backup linebacker, special teamer from Chaska, Minnesota.
See, he already has a brace on his left knee.
So James Franklin will be asked about that decision after the game. Sean Clifford looked around and found his man open. It's Dan Chisena. And Chisena, who had 2 career catches before this drive started, got his 3rd career catch and then was targeted again on the very next play, trying to take advantage of his blazing speed. Clifford's pass batted down.
Des Holmes was the left tackle on that play who caught the football.
Usually a backup, but in there now at crunch time playing left tackle. Rasheed Walker ordinarily is their left tackle. 3rd down and 15. 5:10 to go. 2 timeouts for Penn State, down by 12. just inside Golden Gopher territory. Clifford on target. Freiermuth looks like he got the first down.
Such a dependable receiver. They may take a look at this to see if he reached that first down marker.
The previous play was a catch for a first down. The play is under further review. After review, the ruling on the field stands. It is a first down.
Here's Hamler. A lot of field to his side right there.
Sean Clifford steps up in the pocket, fires on target. 18-yard gain. Another impressive drive by the Nittany Lions. Catch near sideline.
Last time they got like this, they were able to sneak Nick Bowers, number 83, into the end zone for the touchdown.
With the two tight ends on the left, this time it's for Hamler. Batted away.
They're going to have to use a timeout. Don't waste the snap here.
I don't think they got it off. Didn't look like they did. Journey Brown walks in.
But Sean Clifford is hurt at the end of the play. It was an awkward handoff between he and Journey Brown.
Some officials timeout for an injury.
He twisted weird on his right ankle, right foot. Of course, now it's looking more like cramps.
Meanwhile, P.J. Fleck has been on the field giving the referee signal for delay a game. He thought that they didn't get the snap off in time. Let's see. One. It's on 0. They hadn't snapped it yet. Penn State catches a break.
Carter Coughlin got too far inside. And then you see the nice block by Daniel George on the inside linebacker to secure the edge. Watch number 11. Block right there. And the speed of Journey Brown gets him to the pylon.
So Journey Brown having a career day, career high 123 yards rushing, and he scored 2 touchdowns. Bounced down the field. Demetrius Douglas bobbled it for a moment, just went down.
Morgan, 339 yards.
Rodney Smith dropped for a 1-yard loss. Here's Cassidy Hubbard. 10 wins each, and the Gophers trying to make it 11 here.
They need to make a couple first downs, and they're going to have to throw the football some with Tanner Morgan.
Tanner Morgan's in trouble and sacked. Micah Parsons. 3rd down and 21. Rodney Smith bowls his way back to the 20. Penn State can't stop it, but they have plenty of time with this big strike offense with about 3 minutes, a little less than 3 minutes to go when they get it back.
They have time and they have momentum.
Philosophy here is to milk the clock with the lead. You just wonder if they took themselves out of their offensive rhythm in the second half, playing at a slower pace.
The negative plays.
Yep, that was huge. The punt is muffed by K.J. Hamler, and it looked like the Nittany Lions got it back, but it's going to cost them some yardage back inside the 30. And he fires on target. Clifford. Look out from behind. Got it off with arms around his waist. Clifford forced to retreat on target. Jahan Dodson inside the 20 and down at the 10-yard line. There is a flag now. I believe it's going to be against Minnesota for a hold.
Holding defense number 6. A penalties decline.
He's emerging late in this game, a game they have to have, most certainly with an eye toward the national championship picture. Here's Journey Brown. On 2nd and 9, down the middle and chopped down Journey Brown by Thomas Barber, who's not getting up quickly. There is a flag down.
Pass interference. Offense number 11. 15-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
Daniel George was the wide receiver in a short split. He's running straight down the field and he initiates contact. Journey Brown came on the option route behind him. That's why he was so open. I think it was the right call.
Man's a key component on their defense. 5 tackles today.
Well, and they're already without Kamal Martin.
4-man rush. Clifford has room, fires too long for Daniel George. Minnesota with the Vikings. Tremendous college player at Ohio State. 3-man rush. Clifford again has time. Throws, and it is intercepted in the end zone by Jordan Howden.
Watch Dotson get pulled down, and the ball is thrown behind Hamler and intercepted. What did PJ Fleck, what's all over their building? 78% if they do what? Win the
turnover battle. You have fewer missed tackles than your opponent, and you have more explosive plays, and they're going to win.
All 3. How about Tanner Morgan? 18 of 20, 339 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
It's over.